Shalom. Call Halam La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Haracha Akodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth in sincerity. They steered us well and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. This is the brother Zion coming at you with another lesson. To feed the lambs to the Holy Spirit. Haracha Akodash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and to the point. All right. Now, in this lesson, I'm gonna call it "This Looks Familiar." All right. This looks familiar. All right. As you can see, I'm on travel.state.gov. Okay. Anytime you see a .gov, that means this is a government website for the United States. You know, you even have state websites that got a .gov. It means that it's a part of a government agency. All right. And we on travel.state.gov, U.S. Department of State, going into travel. Okay. So there's a big red alert on the top of the screen for Americans in the Middle East. Because you know how everybody want to travel and things of that nature. See, this at the point where you don't need to be out here traveling. You don't need to be out here doing carnival cruises with the Keishite Eve. You don't need to be out there. Because a lot of motherfuckers is going to get caught overseas and they going to get stuck over there. You're going to see that a lot more, man. Jake don't know how to sit their ass in a house. Jake don't know how to be a plain man dwelling in the tents. Jake like to be outside. Okay. There ain't nothing wrong with being outside. But this ain't the time for it. Earth ain't your turf. You can't go any and everywhere now. You know, Jake could say that in a heartbeat. Yeah, Earth, my turf. Well, not now. Because if you go to a country that has no relationship or very little relationship with Babylon the Great, your motherfucking ass might not come back. And if something happened to you over there, it ain't no guarantee DJT gonna try to fight for your ass. You know? Jake don't even fit the narrative for Esau Edom. So it's like, no. If you was a Edomite that fit the ID of what an Edomite's supposed to be, blonde hair, blue eyes, pale, fair skin, then they'd be like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and, threaten these motherfuckers and shit like that. But if it's just a Jake, they don't give a fuck. Come on now. Last week, 170,000 so-called black kids got missing, and they don't know where they at, though. But I ain't gonna say nothing. Don't LeBron got a school out there in Africa? Don't Bill Gates and them got a school? But I ain't gonna say shit. But anyway, it's Americans in the Middle East. All right. Oh man, look at the phone number. It's 1202-501-4444. You hear that? Even the other number, it's 1-888-407-4747. You see 444-14444. So how about Shema Shari letting you know through the spirit, like, yo, this C19, the same steps is happening again. Think about it. Look at the first thing that they did with the C19. They was restricting travel. You couldn't go everywhere. So let's read this worldwide caution. Because they did give you a worldwide caution with the Crown Vic. So don't act like when the Maxine Waters came out, you ain't heard nothing about no worldwide caution, man. They was saying Italy was getting hit with the C-19. They was saying France and all these other weird ass places that you would normally not hear nothing about. Over there, people over there, it's like a pandemic for real. People dying left and right. But anyway, this security alert was on March 22nd, 2026. I'm going to read it. And then after that, we'll get into a couple scriptures and then we'll call it. Because this is just something to meditate on, man. All right, we got the Department of State advises Americans worldwide to exercise increased caution. Location, worldwide. Event, the Department of State advises Americans worldwide, and especially in the Middle East, to exercise increased caution. So basically, why is the government, now mind you, this website, this wasn't plastered on MSNBC, CNN, which I call Criminal News Network, and all these other type of, top priority news stations. Even your top priority news station in your local city. See, what they do is they mention it, like 30 seconds of it, just so you can hear about it, but they don't go deep into it. If they have mentioned it. They mentioned it. It's up to you to do your own research. They not finna go deep into it, and they on to the next thing. Yeah, Porky the Pig, he was downtown, and and they'd go to some retarded shit. Like, what? That's what the local news do to keep you dumb, to keep you at a lower level to where you're a sheep. They don't want you to listen to the prophets. Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, starting with these elites, these small hats, these top elite banking families on down. But I'm really talking about these elite banking families, though. These little low-life Edomites, man, them niggas is casualty of the war, and they just extra slaves. The priority to Yahweh Shema Shah is these elites. That's the priority. Yahweh Shema Shah gonna get the rest of them motherfuckers. But the priority that's running the world is the elite of Esau Edom, which is these elite families, these bankers, the money changers, and Yahweh Shema Shah gonna use them as the first fruits, of slavery. They're gonna be the first fruit slavery. You got the first fruits that's gonna rule, and you got the first fruits of slavery, which gonna be these elites. And the rest of these other scattered heathens, that's going to be all across the world other than Babylon the Great. Because if you a heathen in Babylon the Great, you're cooked. I don't give a fuck what's going on. You're cooked. Literally. But if you like in Sweden or some other shit, some old East Coast type shit, then okay. The Lord might preserve you to pick cotton. But anyway. It say the Department of State advises Americans worldwide, and especially in the Middle East. You hear that? And especially in the Middle East. You got to look at everything that done happen from really Afghanistan 2001 to Afghanistan 2002, where America had the opportunity to bomb Bin Laden, but I believe they let his ass go just to prolong the war, because in 2003 the towers got hit. Soon as they let this nigga go, it was all to keep Babylon over there in Iraq and in Iran, like the Kuwait area, because I got some military. I ain't gonna tell you their names, but they was a sergeant first class. I'll tell you that though. And then I'll tell you 300 Brigade. He used to guard General Petraeus. This is when the towers got hit. He my first cousin too. And he was a sergeant first class. 300 Brigade, military police. And he used to guard General Petraeus. That's the 5-star general that answered the red phone for George Bush. And my cousin had to protect that motherfucker. I actually met General Petraeus at a bar. My cousin, he was at the Hyatt Hotel. He took us to the Hyatt Hotel in Chicago. I'm sitting here drinking a beer with a white dude, cool as hell, not even knowing that's a 5-star fucking general. And I had a beer with the guy, didn't even know who the fuck he was, and he didn't even disclose himself. And my cousin was so subservient to him. And he was like, damn, bro, you know who you just had a drink with? You just had a drink with General Petraeus. I said, who the fuck is that? And then he told me who he was. I'm like, whoa. So watch who you're talking to, too. I was 21. I'm 36 now, but I was 21 when that happened. You know, and I don't tell too many people that, but I'm saying it now in sake of the lesson. Watch who you talking to, too. Be circumspect on that. The Department of State advises Americans worldwide, especially in the Middle East, to exercise increased caution. Americans abroad should follow the guidance in security alerts issued by the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. Periodic airspace closures may cause travel disruptions. U.S. diplomatic facilities, including outside the Middle East, have been targeted. Groups supportive of Iran may target other U.S. interests overseas or locations associated with the United States or Americans throughout the world. So why are they telling you to keep your head on a spiritual swivel, basically, to be circumspect? Why are they telling you to be circumspect? Because something big is about to happen. Something that's going to hit Jake across the head, something dumb. And Jake can't do nothing but just look crazy. Because a lot of Jake is unaware and they don't know what's going on. They just think like, well, I can just go on a Carnival cruise and then everything will be all right. Okay, until you get caught over there and you can't bring your black ass back. Now what? It all sounds like the Crown Vic, where they give you an alert here, an alert here, an alert this, and alert that. You know? And the first thing they do is do travel restrictions. Because once you restrict the travel and you tell people you can't go here, be on alert, X, Y, and Z, a lot of people going to stay where they're at. And then that's when they going to hit the kill switch on you. It's like you locking them into a little cage. It's like you telling the dog, go to cage, taba. You know, you tell the dog, taba, which means like box. Taba means box. So they say, go to your box, taba, halak. I mean, walk, go, halak, taba. And Jake gonna carry their ass to that taba, you know, that box. And they gonna sit in it, man. You know? Now, I got some precepts right quick through the Spirit. All right. Let's go to I got Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. It reads, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. You see, a wise man will read this and they ain't gonna be out here traveling. They gonna be like, you know what, man, I don't think it's a good idea to travel. I mean, I know me and my girl planned to do this, but I'm gonna stay at the house. I don't think we need to be out here. What Eve gonna say? What these simpletons, you know, these simple-minded niggers, what you think they gonna say? Nah, man, see, the problem is you need to get out because you always in the house. Ak. I'm talking about they damn near finna spit when they say ak. And you like, man, no, I don't think I need to be going over here, man. I just see a lot of shit going on. Come on, brother. You need to leave the house and get your mind right. And then you leave the house and they get your mind right, if you know what I mean. They gonna clap your damn ears together with a nice 5.56 NATO or a 7.62 by 39. They gonna clap your damn ears together, man. So I don't really think that's a good idea to be traveling and all of that in the climate that we're in right now. Because a lot of people going to be traveling and say, fuck what we talking about. And they going to go over there and they going to get woe out. Just like the scriptures say that they've been, like in Daniel, that the saints been wore out, that they wear out the saints. Esau, Edom ultimately want to issue in the mark of the beast, the MOTB. You know what I'm saying? The C-hip, the micro C-hip. That's what he really want to usher in and issue in. Because he want us to lose our heritage again, just like how we was doing throughout history. He want us to lose our heritage again, and that ain't finna happen no more. You can't do that no more. You can't rock Jake back to sleep to where every single Israelite is gonna lose their identity and know who the fuck they are, and just don't know who the fuck they are anymore. That's dead. That's dead. You can't control Yahweh Shema Shah Esau, and you for damn sure can't control his prophets. Because we operate through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. So that's a big threat to the New World Order. So what they gonna try to do? Take us out? Take out the prophets? Take out the men of the Lord? Because we the ones out here sighing and crying for these abominations to stop. We are the ones blowing the trumpet. You know? We are the ones blowing the trumpet. Now, let's get Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 14. And I'm going to, call it. I mean, this is just something to meditate on, because, what I'm saying, man, we here, man. We here. I got Ezekiel 7 and 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make already, but none goeth to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour them. You hear that? So we blowing the trumpet on the highways and hedges, blowing the trumpet on these video epistles, letting you know what the hell it is and how it's going to be. Thus saith Yahweh Shema Shah. These ain't, all these breakdowns ain't coming from us personally. This isn't a private interpretation. The scriptures say, they hear of you, they hear of me, man. They despise of you, they despise of me. So everything we say is in the inspiration of Yahweh Shema Shah. And then on top of that, we was taught these breakdowns. We was taught the truth. So if you don't want to listen to the true men of the Lord blowing the trumpet, when all hell break loose and you need questions in this famine of the word, keep your ass walking down the street and keep that same motherfucking energy, because we ain't trying to hear you in that day. The same way how you ain't want to hear us now, we don't want to hear you in that day. We don't give a fuck about your crying. We don't give a fuck about all that moping. We don't give a fuck about none of that hoe ass shit. None of that bitch ass, hoe ass shit, crying ass shit. Cause we been telling y'all goofies. And now y'all don't want to listen? Okay, that's fine. Keep the same energy. Keep your ass down the street, motherfucker. And I'm going to laugh at you when you get hit by a bus. Because we warned y'all, dumbass. And then 2/3 of our people don't give a fuck. So it's all cool. It's all gravy. Keep it. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. And Yahweh Shema Shah gonna send Esau to wear their ass out. For real. And we've been blowing the trumpet. We've been trying to mobilize our spiritual army to be in the right mindset, to be circumspect. You can't just be out here just winging it, just thinking that you just know what you're doing all the goddamn time. You can't lean on your own understanding. All right. Let me get another precept. I got let me get one right quick. Bear with me. Because you got to be circumspect in this thing, man. All right. I got the book of Ephesians 5:15. It reads, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." You see? Yahweh Shema Shai telling you to walk circumspectly on the right hand side. And now you got Esau telling you to walk circumspectly on the left hand side. You know? Don't be a goofy. Be alert. Have your head on a spiritual swivel. Know what time you're living in. Measure out the times diligently within the self. Walk through the spirit, not through the flesh. Simple. You know? Because we already brought out that a wise man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. A wise man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Okay? You don't want to walk as a fool, because fools perish. A fool will always fall for the okie doke. Okay. Like a big goofy and go walk into a damn slaughtering thing, and now they got stunned like them pigs in them slaughterhouses on Facebook. That, you know what I'm saying? The pig knows something finna happen, but they don't know. And they, you know what I'm saying? You could tell in their eyes it's the end of the road for them, but they don't know how it's gonna happen. A pig is a dumbass animal. They brain smart as, is like, small as fuck. Yeah, they're more alert than a donkey. And a donkey, a dumbass animal. If you have a sledgehammer in front of a donkey's head, the donkey just gonna be standing there looking back and forth, don't even know what the fuck going on. A pig is more alert, but a pig is a dumbass animal. It don't know what's going on either. It just got the feeling like something finna happen. And then they throw water on the top of this nigga back, and then they just hit this motherfucker with an electric stun stick. That's gonna be a lot of jakes, man, like that pig I mentioned, man. They know something happening, but they so stupid, they just gonna get slaughtered. You gotta walk circumspectly, man. Your head gotta be on the spiritual swivel. You gotta measure out the times diligently within itself, so you know what times that you're living in. Otherwise, you're gonna get caught like a thief in the night. When your head get completely bust wide open to the gray meat. So you need to understand the serious times that we are coming into, and the serious times that we live in currently. You know? So with that, I want to give infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well, and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. We on the next one. Abaratazah. Shalom.